In front of me right now are VTech products made by the world's biggest celebrities. Everything from smartwatches that replace your smartphone, to microphones that make you sing better, to cyclone-powered popcorn machines. So, have these celebrities used their special talents to make something genuinely amazing, or have they actually just abused their fame to sell you a load of hot garbage? Time to find out with our lovely homemade ratings chart. And let's actually go in order of how famous the person is. Starting with will.i.am, who already has a very respectable 1.6 million Instagram followers. And he has made a smartwatch called the Dial. Holy cow, this packaging is amazing. It looks like a floor-standing speaker. And here is the watch. Why does it look like a handcuff? Now, the key selling point here is that this thing has full smartphone functionality, and it runs on a voice-activated Ow! It's got such a strong magnet. It just ripped off my arm hair. It runs off a voice-activated operating system called Anida. Like, I need a.
Unfortunately, I need a network connection to help you.
First name Anida, second name connection. The actual interface is fine enough, I guess. It looks somewhat slick and like a smartwatch, but it's pretty clear the core functionality rests on it communicating with some sort of server that I am pretty certain the dude's just taken down. To be fair, the quality isn't terrible for a watch camera. It's just the colors need some work. I look like a Simpson. I'm honestly not surprised it barely works, to be honest. It looks like it doesn't even listen to will.i.am himself.
Let's talk about music.
But before we decide how low will he go on our beautiful scoreboard, we've got two more products from the guy. First, the Super Mask, designed, I guess, to be the Batman utility belt of face masks. Okay, so it's got a silicone seal that goes over your nose. It's got LED lights on the outside, two 3-speed ventilation fans, and noise-cancelling Bluetooth earbuds that magnetically dock onto the mask when not in use. So broadcast your earwax to the people sitting on either side of you? There's a slightly bigger problem here. This mask is on its tightest setting right now. The one product where it's absolutely vital that you create a complete seal. And yet, there were two different sizes. There was small, medium, and then medium large. But between those two options, I'm firmly in the camp of medium large. Joseph, can I just check I'm not being an idiot here?
Of course.
So that's the tightest possible setting. Yes, see if it fits you.
No.
In the nicest way possible, how large would you say your head is?
All my loved ones in my entire life have said I've got a fat head. I always go for the extra large and the minimal padding in helmets.
If you wore the straps higher up, then does it fit?
No, because then you got a massive gap here.
How do they make a face mask that doesn't mask your face? I'm starting to get the feeling that everyone's favorite pandemic doctor will.i.am doesn't completely think things through. And finally, we've got his earphones called the Buttons, which unlike basically every single other set of earphones that do everything they can to hide themselves, these are designed to, like the buttons on your clothing, specifically be on show. They're meant to be the way for you to show the world you love music by looking a lot like vinyl records, which also happen to snap together with magnets. Dude, what is it with this guy and the insistence on showing people the insides of your ears? So, will.i.am is not so Brill.i.am. I'm gonna give you a 3. Mostly for the effort. Oh wow, this one looks a lot more budget than I was expecting it to. This is the I Am T-Pain microphone, and it's packaged in that horrible sharp plastic. I guess so you can really feel the T-Pain. But this is actually a pretty cool product idea, because even if you have no idea who T-Pain is, I think there's a pretty good chance that you heard T-Pain's voice at some point. It is famously auto-tuned, like so auto-tuned that I have no idea what he sounds like without the auto-tune. And so this can apparently give that power to you. Oh god, I hate this. Although I'm actually the perfect candidate to test this with because I cannot sing. So there's a record button here. Now click play. Okay, interesting. It's time to whip it out.
What?
I'm actually really upset that you're going to hear my before singing as well as my after. We've known each other for so long. This is a big moment right here. Play.
We've known each other for so long.
I will take that. That's the first time I've ever heard myself singing where I don't want to run and hide myself under my bed in silence for the next week. There's another button here which apparently allows you to drop a dirty background track. We've known each other for so long. All right.
We've known each other for so long.
You know what? I actually like it. No one would ever use this to record real music, but it's a lot of fun. And then when you're done, press these two buttons, pull that off, and this is a USB port. So you can download to your computer the files of you singing. So this is the trailer for the product.
Hey, knock off that racket! I will turn this car around.
Everything sounds better with the I Am T-Pain mic.
You kids now play nice.
Boom! Hey! Still noise. One button, T-Pain effect. I Am T-Pain, and I approve this message.
So it's not just for performances, this is also a child discipline tool. T-Pain is a marketing genius. So, Mr. T-Pain, not a professional piece of equipment, but does what it says on the tin, which is more than we can say for some. 5 out of 10. All the way up at 7.1 million Instagram followers now, we've got Fernando Alonso, who, depending on what you're into, is either going to be a massive deal or you have no idea who I'm talking about. Alonso is a Spanish Formula One world champion currently driving for Aston Martin, but I love how he's put karting world champion before F1 in his bio. Guy's got his priorities straight. And so what he's done is built a lifestyle brand called Kimoa off the back of his racing career. And in what might be the most fitting product for a Formula One racing driver to make, This is their version of an e-scooter. At Kimoa, we believe that life perseveres within, regardless of what occurs externally. This is why we love the sun, the sea, and the light, because they reflect a way of being, just as the sun rises internally each day. Tell me you've used ChatGPT without telling me you've used ChatGPT. Doesn't exactly scream unique products that have had lots of love put into them, though. I do have an idea of where we can test this. We'll get to it. Oh, this one's fun. So, for some baffling reason, SoundCloud's golden boy rapper Soulja Boy, you know, this guy, started selling his own video game consoles in 2018. And the pinnacle of them, released in 2021, was supposed to be the Soulja Boy game. Get it? I think these are the cheapest feeling earphones I've ever held. I remember the guy's Twitter marketing at the time. This thing wasn't just being sold as a knockoff Game Boy. It was advertised with a 3.5-inch touchscreen, Netflix, Spotify, and Apple Music right out of the box. And it was supposedly going to have some huge, big brand, big budget games, including Fortnite and Call of Duty. Long story short, it became pretty clear that the legendary Soulja Boy game was actually just an existing gaming handheld called the TRDR Pocket, but in red. And after it turned out that it was a scam, and basically no one who bought one seemed to receive one, Soulja Boy then started promising those buyers that they would instead get an upgraded model with AI that was now worth $400. And this is that. Oh god, this thing is so reflective. Not a good choice of finish for a gaming console. So it runs Android, which means, oh no, the Call of Duty and the Fortnite games he's promised to people, they're just the mobile games, aren't they? It doesn't even meet the minimum requirements to run Fortnite. Fortnite on a phone does not have very high minimum requirements. It plays the emulator okay. It's not like the best visual or frame rate experience, but it's not bad as an emulator. The thing has no shoulder buttons. How am I meant to drift without shoulder buttons? Okay, forget that. Let's test the AI, the supposedly life-changing AI. That's the sole reason this thing's price was increased from $200 to $400. Hi, Scarlett, what's the weather? Tell me anything. Tell me anything useful. It crashed. Maybe I can ask it to drift for me in racing games since I have no shoulder buttons. This whole thing is just absolutely terrible. Every angle of this sucks. It's Android 11, so it's 4 years out of date. I have doubts about the update schedule on this device. Oh, and I really love this personal touch he's added to the side of the console. He's angled the power button 80 degrees off from where it normally is. What a guy. Doesn't it also look like one of those devices you use in hospitals to bring people back to life? Like, except this might actually be the thing that kills me. Okay, so this is Call of Duty Mobile. None of the controls work. So settings, oh my god, the resolution of the screen is so poor I can barely read the text in the menus. It's just such a lazy product. They haven't done like the base layer of programming required to make these controls detectable in most games. Well, I guess what Soulja Boy said was true. In life, you either crank that Soulja Boy or he cranks you. And we're the ones who got cranked here. You get a very prestigious 0 out of 10. Not even on the board. Okay, we are in the tens of millions at this point. I think it's pretty fair to say that anyone beyond this point is like world famous, starting with Harry Kane, who's kind of a football legend. This guy scored 66 goals in his 98 international appearances, making him the highest goal scorer ever for England, and basically meaning that in any given game he is more likely to score than to not score, which feels like a wild statistic. So, with all his goodwill, Kane has recently launched his own brand of sustainable electronics called Our Pure Planet. There's like 100 things here from them. I'm gonna pick one of them. Let's review the speaker. I gotta say, Kane, this website feels completely dead. Very much like some eagle-eyed business person has seen some well-priced generic tech from China. They want to dropship it to wealthy Westerners, but then realized they needed a name to push it, so said, hey Harry, can we borrow you for a day to do a photo shoot with them? I mean, every single one of these photos is shot with Harry Kane in one of 2 outfits. So I'm now thinking 2-hour photo shoot max. Do you know what's making me think this? It's just the fact that these products look so soulless. They have no identity or consistency beyond just this one logo. So I guess if these have been designed from scratch, then Harry, buddy, you've got to get yourself a new designer. Oh no, that is the epitome of generic startup sounds. It's like they picked from the generic speaker bingo card. This is just so lazy. I can't believe it. I don't know, if you're going to get Harry Kane, have him say Bluetooth mode on. It would add some value.
Have you heard him speak?
Well.
I've not seen a penny back, but from my point of view, they don't look like one, but...
Okay. So you've got one set of speakers facing this way, one set facing this way, so you have some directional audio. It doesn't sound terrible, but at the same time I have heard $30 speakers that have more detail than this. Nothing about this tech feels at all worth $130. I guess the only saving grace is how much you value the sustainability. They say that every single speaker is 100% carbon neutral and 200% plastic regenerative, but there's always an asterisk with these things. No one is saving the planet by buying speakers. If you actually care about sustainability, buy a used one on eBay. So, boring product, not very good for the price. You, sir, have earned yourself a 4. At 18 million followers, well, before he got suspended and then eventually deactivated his Instagram account, it's Kanye West, or I guess, Ye nowadays, and his STEM player speaker. Now, we have actually covered one of these before in one of our gadgets videos, but I think this thing's fascinating. It looks like an alien, it feels like a bag of skin, but hidden inside is actually an artificial intelligence that can take any song and break it down into its various different stems, like the bass line, drums, vocals, etc., allowing you to control each one of them on the fly. Power it on. It's actually such a cool looking product. So I'm playing a song right now, and you can see in real time, stripping out the various individual elements. So that right there is the drums. That's the melody. It does feel just a little bit like magic. The problem though is, well, A, it's not a good sounding speaker considering the price you pay for it. It actually makes Harry Kane's look like good value. Oh, and also the only way to load music onto it is to use the Stem Player website, which processes the track and then you have to download it and put it onto your Stem Player manually, pretty much immediately relegating this to cool toy that you probably won't use. So I was thinking a 6 just because of how cool the thing is, but -1 point for trying to make his Donda 2 album exclusive to the Stem Player, effectively charging people $200 just to listen to it. Now, from someone who, well, still has Instagram, it's the actress Drew Barrymore. And this lady has done a lot. You know the little girl in the E.T. movie? That's her. Host of her own talk show? That's her. One of Charlie's Angels? Yeah, still her. And now add to that list owner of the company Beautiful by Drew, who made this popcorn machine. I gotta say though, not the highest quality bit of kit. It feels like most celebrity products by default go specifically for luxury, whereas this feels quite light and cheap, which is fair enough, it's only $34, but I guess I don't think you'll find this proudly displayed in Drew Barrymore's kitchen as her pride and joy. So 1 measure of popcorn goes in there. I actually skipped dessert today, so this is kind of perfect. And this also now apparently doubles as a butter melting tray. Yes, please. Oh, wow. Okay, we're cooking with gas. Oh my goodness, you can see the cyclone in action. The seeds are actually rotating. And this is actually the air fryer of popcorn machines, I guess, because instead of oil, it uses cyclonic airflow technology, which is the same principle that Dyson fans use, supposedly to maintain even cooking temperature throughout. It's definitely not an immediate process. It is... Oh, wait. Joseph, this is smoking. Oh, God. Okay, I'm going to turn that off. Wow. I think I got it working again. Wait, why is the entire thing covered in butter? I wanted that on my popcorn, not my machine. All right, we're smoking up again on the inside. I'm going to call it there. Well, I got to say, pretty terrible impression of this product so far. None of it has reached my bowl. Oh, God. Still smells good. I'll give it that. Melted butter. Oh. Whoa. And actually, a little top tip for homemade popcorn. Cinnamon, butter, and sugar. Add some of that on top. All right, Drew. Give me like 5. Barrymore-ish. Cheers. That was delicious, but I take 100% of the credit. That was not delicious because of Drew Barrymore and her cheaply made, oil-covered, transformer-destroying, half-cooking popcorn machine. Drew Barry 4? No. 2 Barrymore. Hilary Duff is up next. Actress, singer, author, and businesswoman with 26.9 million followers. So she is officially ahead of our YouTube channel, which I'm sure she's had a big celebration about. Watch out though, I might just have to build world's largest Hilary Duff. And her company, Below 60, has built their own scent diffuser. And I thought this was interesting. Below 60 isn't referring to degrees of temperature. Instead, it refers to 60 degrees south of the equator, a latitude that encompasses only ocean near Antarctica, which is supposedly where the freshest air on Earth is. The website says this thing redefines fragrance design with the following features. Oh yeah, so there's a magnet on the plug, and the fragrance just snaps in place. Although, it is leaking. I mean, the one job of a container is to stop it doing that. Okay, adjustable horizontal and vertical plug, so you can just take this and snap it into 2 different orientations, which I have to say is kind of a genius idea. Because the scent diffuser is kind of thick, you'll want to be able to rotate it away from the plug next to it, just so it doesn't obstruct it. And then fragrance strength control. Well, that's a bit of a stretch. It's got high, low, and off. So there's 3 different scents. There's if citrus were a feeling. Oh, it's got like orange and lime and sandalwood and spices, mint disco on ice. It smells like a spa mixed with a candy shop. So good. Vanilla buys a timeshare in paradise. It's like a pina colada. It's nice. Okay, so the scents are like addictively good. The only question on my mind is this actually any better than a cheaper, simpler, and frankly more aesthetically pleasing reed diffuser? In theory, this is meant to gently warm your fragrances to encourage evaporation, but let's come back later to find out if that's true or not. Olivia Rodrigo, a name you probably never heard a few years ago and now you can't stop hearing about, with 37.8 million followers, has collaborated with Sony to design her version of the Link Buds, which feels like a pretty off-the-beaten-path cultured choice. Or, Sony offered her a bucket load of cash. So this whole purple exterior is her signature color, but to be very honest, I don't think she's done a very good job with it. Maybe it was meant to look pearlescent and like a piece of jewelry, but to me it just looks like a used pencil eraser. At least it is using recycled materials, because you can tell. One thing though that I think is really cool and might be able to save it is 2 custom sound profiles, tuned by Rodrigo and her producer for the optimal listening experience of her albums Guts and Sour. I guess there is something really cool about knowing that you're getting the exact same audio experience that she's had, and that she endorses for her own music. Let's give it a go. So right now I'm listening to her Sour album without the Sour sound profile. I would say the earphones sound pretty good, but they're a little bit flat. They don't have the bass response that I would want. And also I think part of it is on her album. I think it's not recorded in the best environment for optimal listening. There's some artists who, when you listen to their tracks on really good earphones, you just know that they've obsessed over recording the track right. Let's switch over to the Sour sound profile. Okay. I changed my mind. It's actually kind of lazy. They both sound basically the same as each other, and they both sound almost the same as just the flat, neutral sound profile. So I guess the idea is cool, but it's not enough to make it a unique proposition, nor is it enough to make not-so-great earphones sound amazing. So I would say it's not a scandal, but she's taken a pretty mediocre product, and to be honest with this design, she's actually made it slightly worse. So I think you can have a 4. Wow, this is actually a really poor show. Is anyone even going to reach the upper half? Now, just before we get to the top 3 celebrities, the ones with hundreds of millions of followers, turns out that Will Smith is actually the global ambassador for Insta360, this video sponsor, and they have absolutely nailed it with their new X4 camera for 2 reasons. One, you know that famous bending over backward scene from the Matrix movie? Well, they use no fewer than 120 photo cameras all around to capture every single angle. Equipment totaling well over $200,000. The Insta360 X4 allows you to achieve the same bullet time effect with 1 camera, and it records that at 5.7K resolution. But there is more. So we give this a little kickstart to get it going, and then pull down the trigger. Oh my God, Fernando. Uh-oh. How do you steer this? How do you steer this? Okay, abandon. 2, the whole benefit of 360 cameras is that they record every single angle at once, so you never miss anything. The downside is that this often adds an extra step because you might want to go through and tweak which way the camera is looking at every single point. But now you don't even have to do that anymore because the AI editing will do it for you in seconds. So check out the link in the description for the Insta360 X4, a 10% discount, a free bullet time handle, and an invisible selfie stick. So the scooter it's fun. I think this is me realizing that I really like e-scooters as opposed to I really like Alonso's product. It's pretty standard. Like, I mean, there's a light, which we've seen a lot of very bright flashlights on this channel. This isn't really one of them, and there's just not many bells and whistles to it. Except that one. But it's got a kick. Oh no, ramp. So I think you can have our first ever 6 out of 10. Right, we're in the big leagues now. With 121 million followers, it's Real Madrid footballer Kylian Mbappe, and he has also released a portable speaker. But this one's looking very promising with 100 watts of music power, compared to, I guess, the 30 watts of Harry Kane speaker and the 3 watts of the speakers inside your phone. Holy moly, the color on this thing. A slightly hilarious attempt at branding on their website. Inspired by the sporting achievements of football star Kylian Mbappe, we've made a speaker. I mean, the guy's a fantastic dribbler, but how did you get to speaker from there? This one is pretty exciting because the company that manufactures it is called Loewe. They're a luxury speaker company. They have a normal Bluetooth speaker which costs $99, but then with Mbappe, they've worked together to design the Pro, which is $249. So, are we being scammed, or has Kylian gone and scored? Oh, this is actually super unique. There's a touch bar on the actual body of the speaker that allows you to adjust the volume, the bass, and the treble. Although, did they not think to put a slightly brighter LED on the inside, considering you can see the rest of the speaker from the moon? So let's take it for a spin. Oh, okay. You really feel the thump that comes with 100 watts of amplification here. Okay, bass is going up now, and all the way up. Oh, God. Okay. So this is a good, powerful speaker, but it's exactly what it looks like. You know, when you see this bass slider that you can adjust to some infinite degree, it makes you think that it's going to be one of those speakers like the DVLA Phantom that I tested a while ago that can just completely defy its dimensions. This is not that. When you dial up the bass, it literally just tweaks a software setting that adds in more bass at the cost of everything else, and it sounds kind of muddy. Adjusting the equalizer with your music is not some sort of magic trick that makes music sound better, and that's all this is, really. But, you know, decent sound. It's water and temperature resistant. It's got 24-hour battery life. It doubles as a power bank, and, well, you're not going to lose it. All right, go on then. 6 out of 10. Basically just for doing what you say on the tin. Number 2 then is none other than Kim Kardashian. We're now at levels of fame that I don't even understand. Like, how does one even start to get 361 million Instagram followers? But anyway, she has worked together with Beats by Dre to create her own custom version of the Studio Pros. So she's launched this in 3 colors, all personally curated by her, called Moon, Dune, and Earth. What is up with Kim Kardashian and trying to turn the entire world flesh toned? I actually can't decide if I like it or not. It makes it look and feel very premium, but at the same time, it makes me feel like I'm carrying around a bag of foundation wherever I go. And then you've also got this custom cable, which weaves together the fabrics of all 3 of the colors she's made, so that they only have to make 1 cable for all 3 products. Let's give them a listen. I actually haven't tested Beats in a while, but these are not the products they used to be. They're actually easily the best sounding audio products in this entire video. But don't get too excited, nothing's been over a 6. So, obviously, Kim Kardashian didn't make Beats, but she picked a good product to partner with and she made it look better for some people. So, congratulations, Kim. You're the proud recipient of a 7 out of 10. Oh, whoa. That is nice. Not subtle at all. And I love it. Oh yeah, it's definitely warmed up, which is just going to accelerate the natural evaporation process. I only think how on earth are we already like halfway through the fragrance? Like when I bought this reed diffuser, this was full to the brim with fragrance. So that's like 10 times the volume of this little cartridge. So I guess it's here for a good time, not a long time. Yeah, I could see this becoming a very expensive hobby to keep fueling. But she's made her own company. It's not a rebrand of someone else's product, and it does what it says on the tin better than basically any other scent diffuser I've tried. So you can have a high 8. Not a duff. You want to know who we have at the very top, though? It's, well, arguably the most famous person on the planet, Cristiano Ronaldo, who also happens to be the co-founder and face of consumer electronics brand ROK, and also now the fastest growing YouTube channel of all time. Oh, what does it say? ROK is more than my brand. It's a reflection of my mission to live life loud. Okay, so he's all in on this apparently, and these are his earphones. And so what kind of earphones does the most famous person on the planet use? Well, I hope he uses his own earphones. It'd be pretty funny if he's actually just an AirPods guy. Although, oh my goodness me, this is photoshopped. You can very clearly see that the earphones have been added into the image afterwards. I don't think there's a single photo of him actually using these. This looks like a render too. Well, that's not a good start. Okay, the fit is secure thanks to these fins that kind of lodge themselves in your ears. That makes sense. He plays football. He doesn't want them to fall out while he's running. Oh man, that's not the best, really, is it? This is the definition of fine. The thing is, right, it's not expensive to make decent sounding earphones, and that is all these are. They're just very baseline in quality. Like, even though these are priced at like $130, $140, I'm genuinely thinking $7 manufacturing cost. There's nothing about the sound or the feel or the technology on offer here that makes it any more sophisticated than that. They did also say that this cable has Kevlar embedded inside of it, which you shouldn't be able to cut very easily. Sorry, Ronaldo. There was zero resistance. So, the product works, it's just grossly overpriced for what it is, and also kind of misleading with the way it's marketed. 2 out of 10. Bit of an own goal, that one. So there you have it. This video was a little different, so let me know if you liked it, and if you want to see a follow-up with YouTuber products.